Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Cosmic Blueprints Astrology. I'm Sino. If you're new here, welcome to the Cosmic family, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. November 2025 is bringing us some truly transformative energy, and I have to tell you, this month is not playing around. We're talking about major planetary shifts, a powerful Mercury retrograde, multiple outer planet stations, and a rare Uranus-Neptune sextile that's going to be felt for years to come. This is a month where the universe is asking us to slow down, reassess, and prepare for the profound changes ahead. We've got retrogrades, we've got sign changes, and we've got two powerful lunations that are going to illuminate exactly where we need to focus our energy. So grab your favorite beverage and let's dive deep into the cosmic blueprint for November 2025. So let's start with the major transit overview. November 4th, Mars enters Sagittarius. We're kicking off the month with Mars, our warrior planet, moving into the adventurous sign of Sagittarius. After Mars's journey through Scorpio, where things got intense, deep, and perhaps a bit obsessive, we're now getting a burst of optimistic, forward-moving energy. Mars in Sagittarius wants to explore, expand, and chase after truth and meaning. This transit is all about taking action on your beliefs and pursuing what sets your soul on fire. However, we need to watch out for overconfidence and impulsive decision-making. Sagittarius can sometimes shoot the arrow before aiming properly. This is fantastic energy for starting new courses of study, planning travel, or advocating for causes you believe in. Just remember, enthusiasm is great, but strategy matters too. November 5th, the full moon in Taurus. Our first lunation of the month happens right away with the full moon in grounded central Taurus. Full moons are always about culmination, release, and seeing things clearly. In Taurus, this is highlighting our relationship with security, resources, values, and comforts. This full moon is asking you, what are you holding on to that no longer serves your highest good? Taurus energy can be stubborn, and sometimes we cling to material security or familiar patterns even when they're blocking our growth. This is a powerful time for releasing scarcity mindset, letting go of possessions that weigh you down, or reassessing what you truly value. Since Taurus rules the physical body, this could also be about releasing old patterns around food, comfort, or self-care. November 6th, Venus enters Scorpio. The very next day, Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and values, moves into the intense waters of Scorpio. Venus in Scorpio doesn't do anything halfway. This is all or nothing energy when it comes to relationships, money, and what we desire. Superficial connections won't satisfy us during this transit. We want depth, we want truth, and we want transformation. This is an excellent time for deepening intimacy, having those vulnerable conversations you've been avoiding, or doing shadow work around your relationship patterns. Financially, Venus and Scorpio can bring opportunities through investments, shared resources, or other people's money. But it also demands that we look at our shadow side around power, control, and jealousy in relationships. November 7th, Uranus retrograde re-enters Taurus. Now this is significant. Uranus, the planet of revolution and sudden change, retrogrades back into Taurus after briefly dipping into Gemini. This is Uranus retracing its steps, asking us to revisit the revolutionary changes that began back in 2018. Uranus in Taurus has been shaking up everything related to money, values, resources, and Earth itself. This retrograde period is a cosmic review. What changes did we rush through? What innovations need refining? What values need reclaiming? On a collective level, expect to see financial systems, cryptocurrency, environmental concerns, and resource distribution back in the spotlight. On a personal level, this is about reassessing the changes you've made to your security and stability structures. November 9th, Mercury retrogrades in Sagittarius. So here we go, Mercury stations retrograde at 6 degrees of Sagittarius. And this is where November really asks us to slow down. Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is all about revisiting our beliefs, reconsidering our truths, and reviewing the big picture perspective. This is not the time to sign major contracts, launch new projects, or make definitive statements about what you believe. Instead, use this period for revision, research, and reflection. Question your assumptions. Go back to studies you abandoned. Reconnect with teachers or mentors from your past. Communication mishaps are likely, especially around topics of belief, philosophy, or cultural differences. Be extra careful with international travel plans and legal matters. Back up your devices and double-check all details. November 11th, Jupiter retrogrades in Cancer. So Jupiter, the planet of expansion and abundance, stations retrograde at 25 degrees of Cancer. Jupiter retrogrades are about internal growth rather than external expansion. This is a time to reassess where you've been seeking growth and whether you've been building on solid emotional foundations. In Cancer, Jupiter retrograde asks us to go inward and examine our relationship with home, family, emotional security, and nurturing. Have you been overextending yourself in caretaking? Have you been seeking emotional fulfillment in external achievements rather than addressing your inner needs? This is a beautiful time for therapy, inner child work, and creating more authentic emotional security from within. November 18th, Mercury retrograde enters Scorpio. So Mercury retrograde backtracks into Scorpio and the energy shifts from philosophical questioning to psychological deep diving. Now we're reviewing secrets, investigating hidden truths, and potentially uncovering information that was previously concealed. This is powerful energy for research, detective work, and therapeutic conversations. Old secrets may resurface and past relationship dynamics might need to be addressed. This is the universe giving us a chance to heal old wounds through honest communication. November 20th is the new moon in Scorpio. So our second lunation is a potent new moon in Scorpio, happening on the same day as a significant outer planet aspect. New moons are for planting seeds and setting intentions. And in Scorpio, we're setting intentions around transformation, intimacy, shared resources, and personal power. This is one of the most powerful times of the year to initiate deep change. What do you want to transform? What part of yourself needs to die so something new can be born? Scorpio reminds us that all true growth requires letting go. Set intentions around healing, empowerment, intimacy, and releasing control. This new moon is especially powerful for shadow work and reclaiming your personal power. November 20th, Uranus sextile Neptune. This is the cosmic event of the month. Uranus at 29 degrees Taurus forms an exact sextile to Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces. Both planets are at a critical degree and both are retrograde. This aspect is rare and represents a harmonious connection between revolution and spiritual awakening. This is about practical spirituality and grounded innovation. It's the perfect energy for bringing visionary ideas into material reality. We might see breakthroughs in healing technology, environmental solutions, or ways to merge ancient wisdom with modern innovation. Personally, this aspect supports you in manifesting your dreams through practical steps while staying connected to divine guidance. Trust your intuition and take inspired action. November 21st, the Sun enters Sagittarius. The Sun enters Sagittarius, marking the beginning of Sagittarius season. This brings a shift from Scorpio's intense introspection to Sagittarius's expansive optimism. We're ready to look toward the horizon and explore new possibilities. Even with Mercury retrograde still active, the Sagittarius Sun brings hope, enthusiasm, and a desire for meaning. This is a great time to explore new philosophies, plan future adventures, or simply reconnect with what makes life feel meaningful. November 27th, Saturn goes direct in Pisces. Saturn, the planet of structure and responsibility, stations direct at 25 degrees Pisces after months of retrograde motion. This is a major turning point. Saturn retrograde has been asking us to revisit our spiritual practices, creative projects, and how we structure compassion in our lives. Now that Saturn is direct, we can move forward with the internal work we've done. The lessons are learned, and it's time to build something lasting from our spiritual insights. This is about manifesting boundaries that honor both reality and compassion. November 29th, Mercury stations direct in Scorpio and the fog begins to lift. The information that was hidden, the communications that were confused, and the truths that were buried can now come into light with clarity. This is when we integrate all the insights from the retrograde period. Conversations can move forward, technology stabilizes, and we can finally make decisions we've been postponing. Just remember to give it a few days for the shadow period to clear. November 30th, Venus enters Sagittarius. So we close out the month with Venus moving into adventurous Sagittarius. After Venus's intense journey through Scorpio, this is a breath of fresh air. Venus in Sagittarius wants freedom, fun, and philosophical connection in relationships. This is wonderful energy for the holiday season. It's about generosity, celebration, and finding joy in diversity. Relationships become lighter and more playful. Just watch out for overpromising or avoiding necessary depth in favor of keeping things breezy. So now let's go through the zodiac sign breakdown. Hi Aries. So Aries, November is activating your 9th house of expansion and your 8th house of transformation. With Mars, your ruling planet, entering Sagittarius on the 4th, you're feeling fired up about learning, travel, and philosophical pursuits. This is your green light to chase after what inspires you. The full moon in Taurus on the 5th highlights your 2nd house of finances and values. You're releasing old money stories and discovering what you truly value. The Scorpio new moon on the 20th brings a powerful reset in your 8th house. This is about shared resources, intimacy, and personal transformation. Mercury retrograde through your 9th house asks you to revisit your beliefs and potentially reconnect with educational pursuits. Saturn going direct in your 12th house means it's time to implement the spiritual practices you've been developing. December brings more clarity, Aries, but November is about the journey inward. Hi, Taurus. Taurus, you're front and center this month with the full moon in your sign on the 5th. This is your release point. What are you ready to let go of? Old identities, outdated self-concepts, or ways you've been playing small? With Uranus retrograde backing your sign on the 7th, you're being asked to revisit the revolutionary changes you've been making since 2018. Venus, your ruling planet, enters Scorpio on the 6th, activating your 7th house of partnerships. Relationships are getting deep and real. No more surface level interactions. You want truth and transformation. The Scorpio new moon on the 20th reinforces this, offering a fresh start in committed partnerships. Saturn going back in your 11th house means your friendships and community connections are ready to solidify. The lessons have been learned, Taurus, and now it's time to build the stable future you've been dreaming of with the right people by your side. Hey Gemini. Gemini, your ruling planet Mercury goes retrograde on the 9th in your 7th house of partnerships, then backs into your 6th house on the 18th. This is a major review period for relationships and daily routines. Old partners or colleagues might resurface, or current relationships need honest reassessment. The Taurus full moon on the 5th activates your 12th house. You're releasing old subconscious patterns, fears, or self-sabotaging behaviors. This is deep spiritual work, Gemini. The Scorpio new moon on the 20th in your 6th house offers a fresh start with health, work, and daily rituals. With Jupiter retrograde in your 2nd house, you're reconsidering how you generate income and what you truly value. Uranus back in Taurus also impacts your 12th house, so sudden spiritual insights or unexpected releases of old karma are possible. Trust the process of letting go this month. Hey Cancer. Cancer, Jupiter retrograde in your sign on the 11th is the headline for you this month. This is about internal reassessment. Have you been growing in authentic ways, or have you been expanding in directions that don't truly fulfill you? Your ruling planet, the moon, creates two powerful lunations this month. The Taurus full moon on the 5th illuminates your 11th house of friendships and future vision. What friendships, social groups, or long-term goals need to be released. The Scorpio new moon on the 20th activates your 5th house of creativity, romance, and self-expression. This is a powerful new beginning for creative projects and heart-centered pursuits. Venus moving through Scorpio in your 5th house brings intensity to romantic connections and artistic endeavors. Saturn going direct in your 9th house means your philosophical and spiritual studies are ready to move forward. Mars in Sagittarius energizes your 6th house. You have the motivation to improve your health and daily routines. This is a month of recalibration, Cancer, preparing you for authentic growth ahead. Hey Leo. Leo, Mars entering Sagittarius on the 4th lights up your 5th house of creativity, romance, and self-expression. You're feeling inspired and ready to play. This is fantastic energy for creative projects and romantic pursuits, but watch out for drama or impulsive decisions in love. The Taurus full moon on the 5th activates your 10th house of career and public image. You're releasing old professional identities or ways you've been seeking external validation. The Scorpio new moon on the 20th happens in your 4th house, so new beginnings at home or with family, perhaps a move or deep family healing. Mercury retrograde impacts your 5th house first, then your 4th. Review creative projects and be careful in romantic communications. Revisit family dynamics. With Saturn going direct in your 8th house, you're ready to move forward with shared financial matters or deep psychological work. Venus in Sagittarius at month's end brings fun and spontaneity to your creative life. Hi Virgo. Virgo, your ruling planet Mercury is retrograde for much of November, first in your 4th house of home and family, then backing into your 3rd house of communication. This is about revisiting family conversations, potentially moving back to an old location, or dealing with past sibling or neighbor situations. The Taurus full moon on the 5th activates your 9th house. You're releasing old beliefs, outdated philosophies, or educational paths that no longer serve you. The Scorpio new moon on the 20th happens in your 3rd house, offering fresh starts with communication, learning, and local connections. Mars in Sagittarius energizes your 4th house. You have the drive to make changes at home or deal with family matters directly. Jupiter retrograde in your 11th house asks you to reassess your friendships and community involvement. Saturn going direct in your 7th house means committed relationships are ready to stabilize and move forward with greater clarity. Hi Libra. Libra, Venus, your ruling planet, spends most of November in Scorpio in your 2nd house of money and values. This is deep transformation around your self-worth and financial situation. You're discovering what you truly value beyond surface appearances. The Taurus full moon on the 5th illuminates your 8th house of shared resources and transformation. Release old patterns around financial dependence or power dynamics in relationships. The Scorpio new moon on the 20th in your 2nd house offers a powerful fresh start with money, possessions, and self-value. Mercury retrograde moves through your 3rd and 2nd houses, so communications and financial matters need review. Expect delays or revisions in negotiations. Mars in Sagittarius energizes your 3rd house, giving you the courage to speak your truth. Saturn going direct in your 6th house means your health and work routines are stabilizing. Venus entering Sagittarius on the 30th brings optimism to your communication style. Hi Scorpio. So Scorpio, this is your month. Venus enters your sign on the 6th, making you magnetic and attractive. You're drawing in what you value and relationships deepen significantly. Mercury retrograde enters your sign on the 18th, so old lovers, friends, or situations may resurface for review and potential healing. The Taurus full moon on the 5th in your 7th house of partnerships asks you to release old relationship patterns or partnerships that have run their course. The new moon in your sign on the 20th is one of the most powerful days of the year for you, so set intentions for personal transformation and rebirth. This is also when Uranus sextiles Neptune, bringing mystical breakthroughs and practical spiritual insights your way. Jupiter retrograde in your 9th house has you reconsidering your beliefs and educational path. Saturn going direct in your 5th house stabilizes creative projects and romantic relationships. Mercury going direct in your sign on the 29th brings clarity to self-expression. Hey Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, welcome to your preview month. Mars enters your sign on the 4th, giving you unstoppable drive and confidence. You're ready to take action on your goals. However, Mercury retrograde in your sign starting on the 9th asks you to slow down and review before charging forward. The Taurus full moon on the 5th activates your 6th house, so release old health habits or work situations that drain your energy. The Scorpio new moon on the 20th happens in your 12th house of spirituality and the subconscious. This is about spiritual renewal and releasing old karmic patterns. Mercury retrograde in your 1st and 12th houses is asking you to revisit your self-concept and do shadow work. The Sun enters your sign on the 21st, beginning your birthday season. Venus enters your sign on the 30th, making you extra attractive and magnetic as we move into December. Saturn going direct in your 4th house stabilizes home and family matters. Hi Capricorn. So Capricorn, Saturn, your ruling planet, goes direct in your 3rd house on the 27th. The communication lessons, sibling dynamics, and local community issues you've been working through since June are now ready to move forward with structure and maturity. The Taurus full moon on the 5th illuminates your 5th house of creativity and romance. Release creative blocks or dramatic relationship patterns. The Scorpio new moon on the 20th happens in your 11th house of community and future vision, offering fresh starts with friendships and long-term goals. Mars in Sagittarius activates your 12th house, so hidden enemies or self-sabotaging patterns might surface, but you have the energy to face them. Mercury retrograde through your 12th and 11th houses asks you to review subconscious patterns and friendship dynamics. Jupiter retrograde in your 7th house has you reconsidering partnership dynamics. Venus in Sagittarius energizes your spiritual practices at month's end. Hey Aquarius. Aquarius, Uranus, your ruling planet, retrogrades back into Taurus on the 7th in your 4th house of home and family. Unexpected changes at home or with family that began in recent months need revisiting. The revolutionary changes you're making to your foundation require review before moving forward. The Taurus full moon on the 5th also happens in your 4th house, so major releases around home, family, or your emotional foundation. The Scorpio new moon on the 20th activates your 10th house of career, so fresh professional starts and public image reinvention are possible. The Uranus-Neptune sextile on the 20th is especially significant for you, bringing innovative spiritual insights and practical mysticism. Mars in Sagittarius energizes your 11th house of community and friendships. Mercury retrograde through your 11th and 10th houses asks you to review friendships and career communications. Saturn going direct in your 2nd house stabilizes financial matters and self-worth issues. Hi Pisces. Pisces, Saturn goes direct in your sign on the 27th, so this is huge for you. The internal work, boundaries, and life structures you've been building since Saturn entered Pisces are now ready to manifest in the material world. You've learned the lessons, and now it's time to implement them with discipline and compassion. The Taurus full moon on the 5th activates your 3rd house, so release old communication patterns, heal sibling relationships, or let go of limiting beliefs about learning. The Scorpio new moon on the 20th happens in your 9th house of expansion, offering fresh starts with education, travel, or spiritual philosophy. The Uranus-Neptune sextile on the 20th is incredibly powerful for you, with Neptune in your sign. This is about grounding your spiritual insights into practical reality. Mercury retrograde through your 10th and 9th houses asks you to review career communications and educational pursuits. Jupiter retrograde in your 5th house has you reassessing creative projects and romantic relationships. Venus in Sagittarius brings joyful energy to your career at the end of the month. So there you have it, beautiful souls, your complete cosmic blueprint for November 2025. This is a month that asks us to slow down, go inward, and prepare for the transformative changes that are coming. With multiple retrogrades happening simultaneously, the universe is clearly telling us this is not the time to rush forward. This is the time to review, revise, reassess, and realign with our truth. Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius and Scorpio asks us to revisit our beliefs and have honest conversations. Jupiter retrograde in Cancer reminds us that true abundance comes from emotional security and authentic nurturing. Saturn going direct in Pisces gives us the green light to implement spiritual structures. The two lunations this month, the Taurus full moon and Scorpio new moon, are both incredibly powerful for releasing what no longer serves and planting seeds for deep transformation. And that Uranus-Neptune sextile on the 20th, that's cosmic magic happening at critical degrees, opening doors to practical spirituality and revolutionary healing. My advice for November is embrace the pause, trust the review process, do the shadow work, have the deep conversations, and know that everything slowing down right now is preparing you for the quantum leaps ahead. If you found this forecast helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your astrology-loving friends, and subscribe to Cosmic Blueprints Astrology for more cosmic guidance. Drop a comment below and let me know what transit you're most excited for or nervous about this month. I love hearing from you. Until next time, be blessed, beautiful souls, and I'll see you in the next one.